men and boys, anyone that's uncomfortable with the period story, you can click out now. You're not going to hear anything. But I do recommend, if you do have the guts to watch this, to please do, so you don't do this in the future to a daughter of your own. Okay? Hi everyone, sorry for the new setup. This is the lounge in my mother-in-law's house, and I couldn't find somewhere with a better lighting to do this, so hopefully this is alright. Today I came to tell you a little story time that for me at the time it was not funny at all. Today it's quite funny. So I was 12 when this happened, so I was 12 when I got my period. This is not the most disgusting or the most disturbing period story that's been on the internet, but it is an advisable kind of video that I would love that every man would watch before they have a daughter that reaches her first period, or any type of family member or anything like that, because what I went through was not fun. So first of all, you have to remember that when you're around that age, everything embarrasses you. You're not comfortable with your body, you're not comfortable with things and how they happen. You're not. Okay, I was 12 when it happened to me, and basically I knew periods happen by that age, but I had no idea that I was getting close to having my own, and I had not stopped to think about it because I was a 12-year-old that was the olden style kind of 12-year-old, so I was still playing with dolls, I was still playing around, climbing walls and, you know, having fun. I still felt like I was a kid. I didn't feel like I was a teenager or getting to be an adult. So I hadn't thought, I'm gonna get my period. It hadn't crossed my mind to that point. So one day, it was a Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. It was a weekend, and I was playing with my friends, and I was playing around and running, and then I said, oh, okay, I don't feel so great, so I left my friends and I said, I'll be back soon, I just need a toilet. And I went to the toilet, and I go to the toilet and I clean myself, and it's like, there's something weird here. It's like, I will tell you the first thing that came to my mind, and you will laugh your ass off. I did not think it was period, because my first time that I had my period, it wasn't blood red. It was like a dark brown. So first thought in my mind, I look at my panties and they have this brownness on it, and I look at the toilet paper and it has this brown thing on. Yes, I know it's disgusting, but my first thought was,
did I poo myself and not notice?
Yeah, that was my first thought. So I cleaned myself properly, I changed the panties, and I hid that dirty panties away to be washed, and I said, okay, well, I'll put it in the washing clothing basket, and later on I'll wash it myself. I was gonna hide this from my mom, from my dad, from everyone, because I did not want anyone to know that I had just pooed myself. I mean, a 12-year-old pooing yourself and not even feeling it, it's, yeah, exactly. So I got off with my friends and I continued playing and blah blah blah. A few minutes later, I mean, probably like a couple hours later, my mom calls and she's like, oh yeah, come back home, need to talk to you. Okay, that's fine. So I said bye to my friends. It's like, yeah, you know, it's kind of late already, so see you tomorrow, blah blah blah. And I go back to the house. My mom pulls me to the corner in the laundry room and she says, right, you know this? And she showed my panties with the poo smear. And right away I went like,
oh my god, she found it.
Oh my god. It gets worse. So she looks at me and she says, "Do you know what this is?" And I looked at her and I was like, yeah. And then she was like, "Right, you do know it's not this color usually." And then I looked at her like, what do you mean? Then she explained to me that that was period. It was blood. It was the first period and it doesn't usually come bright red. I looked at her and I was like,
Right. So I'm having my period now.
so yes. She started explaining everything because at that point I had no idea that it could have been happening right now to me, the blood thing, and I'm getting to be an adult thing kind of thing, you know. So she starts explaining and she says, "Well, I have some pads in the bathroom and I'll show you how to put them on the panties and blah 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 blah." So she goes through all of that. She takes me to the bathroom to teach me how to use a pad, and I look at her and I say,
"Right, don't tell Dad. Please, don't tell Dad."
and then she looked at me and she's like, "Yeah, sure, don't worry. I won't tell your dad." I walk out of the bathroom from putting my first pad on my panties, and I was gonna go to the kitchen, and the bathroom was here, the kitchen was there, and here's the living room. So I had to cross the living room to get to the kitchen. I was gonna grab water or something, I don't remember what I was gonna grab. So I passed the living room, and in the living room, my dad is sitting on the couch. He looks at me and he says, "Come here." So I go to him. He gives me a hug, a huge hug, and he says, "Congratulations, you're a little young woman now." And I just froze. I looked at him and he was so happy that he kept saying that he was so happy that I was a young woman and I had my first period and this and that and like all happy, and I'm looking at him like, right. So I just walk off. I went to the kitchen really angry. First, because I did not expect my dad, to be happy about the fact that I had blood pouring out from my vagina. It's like, what the hell? I wasn't happy. Why is he happy? Right? Second, because my mom had told my dad before I even knew I had a period. So basically the whole family knew before I knew that I had had my first period. So moms and dads out there, first, don't go spreading around to everyone that your daughter has had her first period without asking her for permission. Second, do not make a big fuss about it. It is already a very embarrassing thing. Okay, we don't like it. No, we will never like it. Maybe we'll only like it when we don't want to get pregnant and the period comes. That's probably the only time we will like periods. But apart from that, we don't like it. So don't make a big thing about it. Okay? We don't. Okay? Dad, if you're watching this, I still remember. Yeah. And Mom, you told him. Anyway, so that's my period story. It's not that big of a deal, but it is kind of like a call out to the parents, family members, whatever, to please try to consider that, you know, it's not fun getting a first time period. Anyway, so I hope you have enjoyed this. Give it a thumbs up if you have. Leave me a comment down below with your period story if you're a girl, or if you're a guy, if you've ever done anything like this to anyone that you know. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Did I poo myself? And I did not notice.